heart failure, and it's often misdiagnosed as asthma. But with early, accurate diagnosis, new treatments are helping people with PH live longer and better. The Pulmonary Hypertension Association gives hope to PH patients and caregivers. We want people to have
a heart that is strong for a life rich and long.
We're putting our heart into finding a cure. Learn more at phassociation.org. That's phassociation.org.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present.
When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium.
When I grow up, I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
When I grow up, I want to be a fancy backsplash.
I want to be a bike that races around the country.
When I grow up, I want to be a bench on a forest trail. I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch.
I want to be a skyscraper.
I want to be
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
I believe in you. Just 4 simple words, but to a child in need, they mean the world. I believe in you means you have potential. You are special. You matter. When you become a child sponsor with Save the Children, you're saying, I believe in you. You are smart. You're capable. You will overcome obstacles that most can't imagine. Your sponsorship says to a child, I believe that you deserve a successful start to life and a solid foundation to build upon. I believe you're worthy of good nutrition, quality healthcare, and the opportunity that education unlocks. Becoming a Save the Children sponsor sends a powerful message of support. It says, I am here for you, to lift you up, to cheer you on, and to celebrate your success. Because when you believe in a child, you empower them to believe in themselves. I believe in you. Just 4 simple words that can bring hope, that can change a life. Visit sponsor.savethechildren.org today and tell a child in need, I believe in you.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Yes, indeedy. You have tuned into the Dawn Stensland Show. Well, good morning. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Yes, I do love turkey. A great way to kick off the holiday season. Love seeing the Christmas lights going up. This truly is the best time of the year. By the way, Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn. Here for the next 2 hours. Call-in numbers. 855-839, a simple 1210. Don't be shy. Would love to hear from you. Want to thank Tom Azelby for joining me this past Wednesday as we were sitting in for Dawn, and Senator Dave McCormick and Seth Joyner. It was a fun show. So many people contacted me expressing their appreciation, so I say thank you. Great show lined up today. Are we listening to our younger youth of today? Maybe, maybe not. So is the American dream dead? Scary thought. But then and yet, I'm in the last quarter of the 4th quarter. I hit my home runs, but to be 25 again, I don't know. So I brought 3 young gentlemen, age average 28, into the studio to explain, define their concerns going forward in their futures. Call it the good, the bad, and the indifferent. Joining me in my workroom, Blake Przetsky. I don't know how to say that, but say it for me, Blake.
Shibashevsky.
Oh, my God. Who the heck named that? Look at all these letters. So many Z's and Y's and B's and W's. Jonathan Duff, Joe Miller. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Barry.
All right, Blake, just so we know also, I don't want to be remiss. At the 11 o'clock hour, Dr. Brian Zanicki, a leader in research of breast oncology, or commonly known as breast cancer, is going to be joining us. I want to make sure that anybody that is questioning what's going on in that field understands he's a wizard of research and a wizard of taking care of people. So let's get back on track. Blake, what in the world is going on in this country? Details, my friend.
Well, here's what I can tell you, Uncle Barry. First off, before I talk about that, I just want to say thank you for bringing all of us on. After the events of the 2025 election, the New Jersey, Virginia, everything that happened in New York, a lot of people after they got, the Republicans got beat. I hear a lot of Republicans talk about we got to listen to the young people,
Yep.
And a lot of people talk the talk, but not a lot of people walk the walk. And we want to thank you, Uncle Barry, for letting us on. Because you're walking the walk right now, and we thank you for bringing us on because of that.
It's my pleasure. Start us out, my brother.
Well, I think the big thing, right, so, where do we start with this? I'll be brutally honest with you, Uncle Barry. This goes all the way back to 2008 during the recession. And what I mean by that is during that time period, everything happened, the economy went to crap, and people wanted answers. People wanted a reason why this was happening. We wanted justice, basically. So
Justice for what?
For the economy collapsing, for the people on Wall Street, messing up with the stock market, messing with the mortgages, messing up with basically the entire financial sector, and really causing the recession that we had in 2008.
So are you trying to tell me that this is a residue going back 17 years? We haven't escaped that time period? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Correct, yes. To explain where we are today, you have to talk about that, because what that led to was the birth of a little famous movement called Occupy Wall Street. Occupy Wall Street, as everyone knows, was a protest against Wall Street, the stock market, the asset managers, basically the 99% fighting against the 1% when it came to the inequality as far as income levels are concerned. It quickly spread to other cities, and it drew attention to class disparities and corporate greed. And it really started picking up traction. So because it was picking up traction, you had both the left and the right coming together because they wanted answers to this. All of a sudden, you had, for example, the Trayvon Martin case in February of 2026, if you remember that, with
Of course I do.
Of George Zimmerman and all that and stuff like that, which, in my opinion, was a distraction from this movement. Because if you actually look at...
well, hold that thought for a second. You just said a bundle of things.
I know.
Jonathan, weigh in.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Jonathan Duff. I'm 25 years old. I want to take it down to ground level for a second, because if you look at every single life metric, young people today are worse off than our parents' generation and our grandparents' generation. The average life expectancy for somebody born in the year 2000, which is the year that I was born, is now down. A lot of deaths of despair, right? So you have suicide, you have drug addiction, you have all of these things. The average age of owning a home is now 40 years old. So the average person buying a home is age 40. That's not normal. That's not normal in the context of American society.
I agree.
And there's no upward mobility in the job market. So these are really hard realities that I think people have to take a look at and ask, why is that happening? And I think that a lot of people have the knee-jerk reaction that it's due to the laziness of our generation, and it's really not. We are not lazy people. What's going on is over the last 20 years, over the last 40 years really, you've had a transition from a stakeholder system in which there was care for the community, care for the workers, and care for the environment, and you've had a shift to a shareholder system where with large corporations, in many ways, who control the economy, the only means of care are the fiduciary responsibility of the shareholder. So when you have short-term profit maximization like that, it leads to things like artificial inflation in the housing market. It leads to lower wages. It leads to the import of H-1B visas and the prioritization of profit over the care and the welfare of the people. So ultimately, I think that we're looking at an economy that isn't capitalist in nature, but is really feudalistic in nature, where the goal is to make sure that our generation never owns anything, and rather that we are essentially debt slaves.
Wow. Joe Miller, Young Republicans of New Jersey, the three of you, tell me your thoughts on what these two gentlemen just had to say. I had to listen. I had to go get a thesaurus and a dictionary to understand what the hell they were saying, but go ahead.
That's what I was doing this whole time. But honestly, Well, Jonathan, I was listening to them both, but it was funny. A good segue from what Jonathan just said.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking at being in real estate and everything that we're going to be debt slaves our whole life. Really, Americans now in our generation, they're not really looking at owning a home or anything. They're stuck renting. They're stuck renting because mortgage cost is too high, rent's too high. And now we got to figure out how do we bring our economy back to a way where we can own, where we can get out of debt. And we're seeing solutions such as like a 50-year mortgage, and a lot of people are concerned. Is that the route we want to go? Is that actually going to save us in the long run, or is that going to hurt us?
Mm-hmm.
So right now, it did all start in the '08 house crisis, but now we just want to make sure we don't repeat any mistakes and get us back into another hole in the housing crisis.
So, Blake, did the government let us down? Did the United States politicians, United States of America politicians, disappoint you guys in putting us in this position?
I can't speak for myself, but based on the trend where a lot of young people are going, especially with the election, the New York election with Zohran Mamdani and the socialist principles that he has, I believe a lot of young people think the government left them down. I actually have here, believe it or not, Uncle Barry, I have some statistics here on young people that believe that Donald Trump let them down. After getting elected in 2024.
How?
Well, you have to look at his initial why he got popular, right? So the reason I was talking about all those things earlier was because one of the reasons why Trump became so popular in 2016 was because a significant portion of the anti-establishment, economically populist wing that initially sympathized with Occupy Wall Street on the right, especially the Tea Party, ended up supporting Donald Trump in 2016 because of his focus on economic nationalism, his outsider businessman persona, his attacks on Wall Street, free trade, and crony capitalism. He also used a lot of the same verbiage that was used at that time. That's why he became very popular. And obviously with 2024, he kept using that populist mantra in his speeches and in his campaign. But a lot of people feel that he shifted away from that campaign populism, and he pivoted to a more disruptive, elite-friendly agenda. For example, the Big Beautiful Bill, which was passed on May of 2025, it extended the 2017 tax cuts favoring high earners and corporations while slashing health care and social programs, contradicting the populist calls for worker relief. Even economic populists like those in American Compass, tied to J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, called it a total bust for not prioritizing child tax credits or anti-cronyism measures.
Jonathan, is this guy a Republican?
Well, you know what? I think that at the end of the day, young people in this country are questioning whether or not the system as it stands actually cares about American people. And with Donald Trump...
On both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. This isn't a partisan issue. This is really a uniparty issue where, you have to think there's a $50 trillion transference of wealth from the bottom 90% to the top 1%. And I'm talking about mega millionaires and billionaires, right? So we're talking about the very richest in our society. So that wealth transfer happens. There is no social consciousness of how do we invest this back into our population. There is only how do we make ourselves richer. Yep. And I'll give you an example of that. With Elon Musk with Doge, one of the first things he did was try to get a contract for SpaceX to replace NASA. So, you put people in positions of power with their wealth, and the only thing they care about is amassing that wealth. And you see that happen through the system where politicians are getting money from these corporations to continue that 40-year buildup. And the question is, for us, is do you even care what's going on with us? Do you even care about the fact that our education outcomes are down? Do you even care about the fact that drug addiction is up? And when you have all of those issues, do you even care about the fact that we will never own anything?
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. This isn't something that just came about over the last year.
No.
This is something that's accrued over the last 20 or 30 years. The last administration, to me, crushed America. And Donald Trump and this administration has so much on its plate to correct. Listen, the guy comes into office. What is he dealing with? A Middle East crisis, a crisis in Ukraine, a crisis India, Pakistan, a crisis in Africa, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think this administration has placed a lot of energies, hold on one second, a lot of energies on overseas. I think they'll come to America. Yesterday, by the way, I want to make a point. I want to send condolences to the family of Sarah Beckstrom. She lost her life. As we know, she was a National Guardsman at the age of 20.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see things dramatically change in this country. Hold that thought, my friend. We're up against the break. You are listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn with three young gentlemen who I respect. And frankly, I love hearing from them.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
My job's not to get Jack Ciattarelli elected. My job is not to have Dave McCormick win. My job is to get ratings so I get a new contract. My job is to generate revenue so I'm financially irreplaceable. And my job is to give you some entertainment, try to inform you by doing some research, even though I haven't mastered run versus ran. I can't educate you on certain things, but by spending some time and doing some research, maybe provide you a factoid that you didn't have the time to look for. That's my job.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
The holiday season is in full swing, and the showcases at Family and Company Jewelers are stocked and ready to go. Do yourself a favor and get to their showroom on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey. Planning to pop the question this year? How about you stuff her stocking with a diamond engagement ring? Or if you just want a little extra action under the mistletoe, you can't go wrong with a pair of diamond stud earrings. Check off your whole list with one stop to Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's holiday diamond destination.
Hey, I'm Joe DeCamara. And I'm John Ritchie. We're the guys behind the 94 WIP morning show that plays Philly sports fans turn to every morning. Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers. If it matters in this city, we're talking about it. We bring real opinions, smart analysis, and yeah, some chaos too. From breaking news to big name guests, it's all here. Whether you're tailgating or stuck in traffic, we've got your Philly sports fix. Follow and listen to the 94 WIP morning show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and get new episodes every weekday.
You can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
I'm going to come back to you. Do you have a response? Right? Here we go, boys. We're on. You are listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. Barry Sable sitting in with, and for Dawn, I should say, with three gentlemen. You heard Joe. This young man threw me for a loop. Yeah, he didn't think the administration was doing a wonderful job. I look at it completely differently. Why don't you tell me what your thoughts are, Joe Miller?
Well, wonderful, I would say, isn't the best term for it, because I think they're doing a great job for the cards they were given. But in reality, I don't think any administration would be doing great with the housing market and the economy right now. We were left in such a sinkhole for the past 4 years, helping other nations.
It's called inflation, my friend. Inflation went up to 9%
over the last administration.
Of course. So therefore, what were these guys going to do? How are you going to reel in that fish and bring it down to where it needs to be? So I'm in construction, as you know, in construction development. And all I could tell you is that it wasn't always easy for people to get mortgages. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, with the housing market, there's a three-prong issue, right? The first thing, it's artificial demand inflation. So if you think about it, right, if people my age can't afford to buy a home, we should be the backbone of the housing market. You have to think, if we can't afford a home, the housing prices should go down because we're not buying. So what's going on? The first prong is you have hedge fund managers and large-scale capital moving into the housing market through companies like Blackstone, where stated goal is to convert places into rental communities. So they go and they buy the home 80% above market price in some cases. That leads to artificial demand inflation. You have a massive infusion of investor capital in the market. The second thing is immigration. Now, I don't disparage immigrants. I think many people come here, with goodness in their heart, good intentions in their heart. But the reality is, if you're artificially inflating the population of people who are seeking a home, then prices are going to keep going up, and people are seeking to rent. People are seeking to buy.
And my response to that is, in the days of old, meaning my days, they didn't come to America to complain or collect food stamps. People worked, and I don't see that now. 42 million on SNAP. If you go look at the statistics, you'll see how many people from Afghanistan and other countries, all of them, for God's sakes, are all on SNAP. When I say all, a good portion of it. That means 42 million people living here. The three of us and the three of you and myself is paying for. So how can anybody get ahead when we have to pay higher taxes for people that don't belong here? Go ahead, Blake.
So I just wanted to clarify something too, because prior to the break, the statistics that I was reading off and stuff like that seemed like I was negative towards our president, and that's not the case at all. There's a lot of things that I disagree with our president, respectfully, but there's a lot of things that I agree with. For example, Uncle Barry, unfortunately, it had to happen after a tragedy, but he had just announced on Truth Social about shutting down immigration in general for people from third world countries. I think that's an excellent move, and I'm a big supporter of that, because, like John said, we can't keep bringing these people in. All it's going to do is raise our costs more and more and more. If the election,
let me comment to that.
Yeah.
I think we should stop bringing people in this country. Period. Right now.
Well, that's what I meant. Yes.
Period. I don't care third world country or not third world country. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, I mean, the immigration system, I think, again, I don't disparage immigrants. I don't want to hate anybody as an individual, but I think you got, and I'm not saying you do.
Americans first, my friend.
I agree with you on that, but you got to take a step back and see the immigration system's not just exploitative toward us who have to pay if people are coming in and then essentially buying off the welfare system. It's also exploitative in many cases to the immigrants themselves. People come here from the southern border. A lot of the time they're being brought in by a coyote, which is a term for someone who smuggles people.
Not a lot. Most of the time. They
most
come
of the time.
from the cartel.
Well, and they're coming in. Some of them are being kidnapped and brought into this country against their will, but they come here for the promise, and then they work for, in some, the Tyson plant in Alabama that got busted a couple of years ago had people in there working as young as 9 years old. A lot of the time they get raped. A lot of the time they're exploited.
Labor, of course.
And so I think we have to look at the immigration system, the human element in itself. There's a lot of really disgusting things that go on, and it needs to be tightened up.
Well, Joe, let me tell you something. Every 4 years, it seems like we change administrations, and then the next thing you know, someone
the same issue.
Yeah, someone has to clean. Someone has to clean. Get into your mic, sir. Get in. They have to clean up the mess. Look at this. Just think about this for 1 second. Joe Biden brought in over 77,000 Afghanistan people in his failed withdrawal. There is no way we could properly vet all these people. So the question becomes, unfortunately, should they stay or should they all go?
I think at this point, they need to all go until we get our own facilities in order. I mean, we have veterans on the streets, and we're still worried about helping immigrants that come here when, honestly, the other nations, their leaders aren't stepping up.
No.
Why should our leaders step up 100% when their leaders aren't doing jack squat? We need balance, and we need their leaders to step up so we all can get this done.
And to add on what Joe's saying, it's not like these countries can't step up and try to make a change. I mean, look what happened with Generation Z down in Mexico with the riots and everything over the Mexican president. You heard about that, right, Uncle Barry?
Tell us.
Long story short, they're tired of the cartels running Mexico, and they want something done about it. And I believe it was a Mexican senator, whatever their equivalent is, that went down there and said that the president down there, she was tied to the cartels, and there was a huge riot. There was a huge issue about it. So it's not like the next generation in these other countries don't care about their country. They do. The reason why a lot of them come here is because they feel like their country is hopeless.
Yeah, go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, actually, just to build on what Blake said, another example of that is in Nepal, where it was led by Gen Z. Young people overthrew the government in Nepal and elected a new prime minister themselves on a Discord server. Discord is a social media app a lot of people under 30 use. So something really interesting with this is I think that we have to take a step back and realize people around the world are experiencing rising costs, rising inequality, and shrinking opportunities. And when you, as a society, ignore young people's issues and ignore what's going on with us and try to, proactively address that through policy, what you end up getting are people my age who question the veracity of the system itself, and it leads them down more radical paths. And I think the election of Zohran Mamdani in New York speaks to that.
Yep. Hey, Joe, listen, we always talk about, you and I off the air, what happened with Jack Ciattarelli in that debacle, if you want to call it. And we talked about that maybe that campaign did not address the youth of today. And like Blake had said, I believe, that where's Jack going? He's going into diners. Who's in diners? Old people. So are we missing the boat today? Just not in that kind of election, but in elections, period. Are we addressing? Because I think Trump did a good job, Joe. He brought in a lot of youthful people that helped push him over the top.
Well, look at what Jonathan just said, how they used in, what country was it? Nepal?
Nepal, yeah.
They used Discord. They used a server Discord to get the vote out and to get the voice heard for younger voters. But how come we don't see any Republican candidates really doing that here? We don't see them utilizing TikTok or platforms like that as much.
Go ahead, Blake.
I just think
we don't need permission here, boys. Chime in.
I just think there's a huge disconnect to back up what Joe's saying. I really think that a lot of the politicians, especially on Capitol Hill, on the Republican side especially, are very out of touch. I mean, what Uncle Barry, what is the median age up there? It's what, 60, 70 years old as far as Republican politicians are concerned. Meanwhile, on the Democrat side, you know, they skew slightly younger. You have your AOCs, you have your Ilhan Omars, and I don't agree with their policies. Let me clarify that. But the Democrat Party has a stronger grip on the younger population, and we saw that with, you know, Mikey Sherrill's election, Zohran Mamdani's election. So if the Republican Party, you know, wants to get out of this hole, they got to shift more of their focus on the younger generation, because the generation that they do focus on, which is mainly the seniors, I mean, every single year, Uncle Barry, and I don't want to sound morbid when I say this, but, you know, we lose more and more of those voters. We lose more and more of that demographic. Meanwhile, a 17-year-old just turned 18, and they're told in high school that they're not going to have any future unless they vote Democrat by their radical teachers.
Well, someone, hold on one second. Somebody on the chat line is saying, well, the problem is not the asylum claims, it's the problem of the H-1B. So the question becomes, I mean, I have to tell you the truth. If you don't take and put America and Americans first, this is what happens. You dummy down kids in school. They're not getting enough of an education. And by the way, congratulations, Jonathan, being accepted to law school.
Thank you very much.
We look forward to you defending all of us because we're all bad boys.
Gonna need it.
Especially Joe. Stop drinking and driving, Joseph.
Yeah, you gotta lay off the sauce, Joe. You gotta lay off the sauce.
Exactly.
Does anyone know what Bill Clinton's slogan was from 1992?
Huh.
Do you know the slogan?
Help me.
It's the economy, stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, you know, the Democratic Party has always had its finger on the pulse more. I mean, at least in the last 30 years on this particular thing, where they seem to have a better way of getting to young people through economic rhetoric, right? And I think the progressive wing of the Democratic Party are doing this very effectively right now.
Break me down then, Blake and Joe. What happened in New York? That's exactly the point. Free buses, free education, free supermarkets, or whatever.
Free with no plan.
Huh?
Free with no plan.
Yeah, free with no plan. Who's going to pay for all that stuff?
Them.
Free with no plan, but at least they're talking about something, and that's my point. You know, the Democratic Party are winning young people because they're talking about what's going on with young people, and if their solutions aren't efficacious, that doesn't really matter, because at least someone is talking about it. You know, and the Republican Party, you know, the president, his answer is we're going to put $500 billion into AI to put tech workers, young tech college graduates out of a job. 30,000 jobs have already been cut from the development of AI, you know, and the use of AI in place of entry-level tech workers. And we're going to have 50-year mortgages where you buy a $500,000 home at 7% interest, you're paying $1 million in interest over 50 years. These are symptomatic and 20th century responses to 21st century issues, and that's, I think, the disconnect.
Blake, let me read this to you. Capitalism is the unique distribution of wealth. Socialism is the equal distribution of misery. And communism is the socialism with a gun at your back. That was Winston Churchill. To me, we're heading towards a socialistic country. We now see it in New York. We see it in Ohio. We see it in Minneapolis. We have all these crazy radical ideas. Venezuela failed. China failed. Russia failed. All of these countries that attempted to do socialism. I have to think about China. Did China really push their socialism? But that's communism. The point I'm trying to make is that this has already been disapproved. And now this country that has been so gracious towards people is bringing in all these type of people. If you import people from a third world country, you're going to end up with a third world country. Go ahead, Blake.
Uncle Barry, I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but America is already a socialist country if you really think about it. I mean, ever since 1960 with the Welfare Act, right? Social Security, you can argue, is socialism, right? You're taking taxes out of working people's paychecks and you're giving it to the disabled and, to the retirees. Medicaid, Medicare, same idea, right? We haven't really been a capitalist country in a very long time. The problem is that, number one, these social programs cost a lot of money. It's one of the reasons why our debt is out of control. But unfortunately, we can't go back because, as you saw with the last election, when the Democrats basically held their voters at gunpoint and told them, hey, if you want your food stamps back, you need to vote Democrat, right? Well, we have so many people tied to the system, it's a problem. And that's one of the reasons why, and Trump talked about it yesterday in his Truth Social post briefly. He talked about how a lot of not just illegal immigrants, but immigrants that also come here, specifically from third world countries, are on food stamps and are on welfare and social benefits. And if we want to continue as a country, we can't keep bringing more and more people in because
they take Americans' jobs.
It's not even just that. It's that you bring all them people in, they all go on welfare. Where's that money coming from? Then you got to up taxes, and it's like, why even work at that point?
It's all backwards, guys. Joe, let me ask you
Exactly.
a question. Colleges, they're so expensive to attend to today. What are your thoughts on trying to figure out how to make colleges more affordable?
Well, I mean, at this point, it's kind of on a downhill slope. You really can't make it more affordable at this point because, as Blake said, how we have immigrants coming in, we got to afford not only for their benefits and that social aspect, but for them to go to college. We are paying for immigrants to get aid and to get financial aid to go to these colleges. So how can we get ahead when our tuition has to go towards their tuition as well?
There you go. Listen, we're up against the break. You are listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. Uncle Barry sitting in for Dawn. We'll see you on the other side.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. How many times are you going to listen to my voice before you finally go to investorschooling.com? I can't believe you haven't signed up for a class yet. You're going to learn real estate investing. You're going to learn stock options trading. You're going to learn things about money that you didn't even know existed. Go to investorschooling.com right now. Oh my goodness. This Thursday, investorschooling.com, and take that free class. See you there.
Start your collectible coin journey today with the first ever Seuss coin. Hip, hip, hooray! The Grinch is here for all to see. DrSeussCoins.com kicks off your collecting spree. Now, for the first time ever, Rare Collectibles TV has licensed Dr. Seuss's beloved creations, making them come to life on collectible, adorable coins. Don't wait, or you'll be too late. Get yours today before they're gone forever. Only 5,000 examples have been minted. Each Grinch coin is made from 1 ounce of pure .999 fine silver and is in perfect condition. Give the gift of wonder and enchantment to your kids or your grandkids. Just go to DrSeussCoins.com to start this whimsical coin journey today with the limited edition Silver Grinch coin. That's DrSeussCoins.com, DrSeussCoins.com.
Imagine not needing to plug in or fill up to drive your car. Aptera Motors is working to become the first mass-produced solar-powered vehicle, with the Carlsbad, California company recently conducting the first test drive of its solar electric vehicle, which next undergoes high-speed track testing. Aptera is targeting initial production of its launch edition in 2026 and mass production in 2028. I'm Jason Brooks.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer, an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
Whether you're saving for a dream vacation or a down payment on your first home, grow your savings with certificates and IRAs from American Heritage Credit Union. Enjoy high earnings averages and flexible terms, like 3.81% annual percentage yield, APY, with a 12 or 36-month certificate or IRA. Your savings, your growth, your American heritage. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/certificates to start saving today. Insured by the NCUA. Additional insurance provided by Excess Share Insurance. Not a member? Join today.
Fall means football, and the ultimate game plan starts in your kitchen. At D&K Appliances, we carry winning brands like GE, Bosch, Wolf, and Sub-Zero. So whether it's game day grilling, chilling drinks, or post-game cleanup, we've got you covered. Family owned with personalized service. D&K Appliances delivers, installs, and supports every play. Visit our showrooms in Newtown Square or Flowertown, or online at dkappliances.com. D&K Appliances, the dependable difference.
Adam, what are you thankful for? Great question, Nick. My new son Henry, eating too much of Mom's pumpkin pie. I'm grateful that Legacy Box has been able to help millions of people safeguard their important recorded moments. And with our Black Friday event that starts now, more families can enjoy digitizing their home movies and pictures with an insane 65% off. Legacy Box is the best gift for you or a family member. It's what Better Homes and Gardens calls the most sentimental gift to make this holiday season special, and what Reader's Digest called a genius product. That's because Legacy Box is simple and safe, and we digitize everything by hand. You'll get your originals back, plus digital copies that protect your treasured tapes, film reels, and photos from floods, mold, even the decay of time. So while the stuffing is in the oven, make sure to visit Legacy Box and shop our Black Friday event to take an unreal 65% off. With limited quantities ready to ship, this deal will go fast. Black Friday starts now at legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com to take 65% off. legacybox.com/value.
If you're talking, they will hear you every single time.
Oh, we're getting killed.
Yeah, well, Kyle's not here.
How come?
Kicked off the team. Didn't Tim tell you? Kyle and some other kids got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. Zero tolerance. He's out for the season.
Come on, it's a first offense, right?
That we know of. But why should that matter? He knew not to drink. I've made it clear to Matt, that's what we expect from him. What have you said to Tim?
Nothing really. You know, a lot of kids try it at this age, so...
Yeah, well, a lot of kids don't try it too. I'm not saying that Matt's gonna be this perfect kid, but if I don't tell him what we expect and why he shouldn't drink, how's he gonna know?
You think kids that age really listen?
They never admit it, Bill, but they hear more than you think.
Talk. They hear you. For more information about talking with kids about underage drinking, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Oh, Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn. I have my hands full. 3 young bucks that are 25 years old, roughly. We were talking about colleges, and I know, Jonathan, at the break, you said, Joe, I disagree completely with you about the cost of colleges. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, you have to look at what happened in the 1960s with the introduction of the Pell Grant system. I'm actually a Pell Grant beneficiary. I don't disparage people who need it. The issue with it, though, is that it did inflate. It allowed colleges to say, oh, you know what we're going to do now? We're going to raise the cost of tuition by as much as we receive in Pell Grant, endowments from poor students. So they exploited the government and raised tuition artificially. Immigrants actually, non-citizens actually, when they come to college, they can't receive financial aid or federal loans from the government. So that, that I think really goes back to the exploitation by the very wealthy of our tax dollars and of our, it's a form of corporate welfare at the end of the day.
But these colleges have so much money in their bank accounts.
They sure do. And that's because of very wealthy alumni who they give the big check and then their kid gets in. It's not every college. It's a lot of the Ivy League, like Harvard and Yale, are the biggest culprits with this.
Blake, it cost me when I went to Temple. Now it's a long time ago. It cost me $250 a semester, $250 a semester. So what are you laughing at over there, Joe? Let me tell you something. At least it was affordable. I paid for it. I didn't ask my parents for anything. So the bottom line is kids are graduating today in debt, $150,000, $200,000. I mean, that's an impossible road an uphill road to accomplish, to pay those loans back, my friend.
So let me talk to you about that real quick. And I hope this doesn't sound like a plug because it's not, but it kind of, I disagreed with Joe earlier about how there's no way to lower the cost. There actually is a way to lower the cost, and I'll give you an example. So, Uncle Barry, I'm currently getting my bachelor's in computer science, right? The college that I'm going to is a college called WGU, Western Governors University. It was created by 22 governors out west in the western part of the United States, and basically the idea was to teach, create a college. It didn't have a campus to keep the costs down, to teach students specific subjects that would benefit them in the economy, right? So there's no degrees like underwater basket weaving or anything like that. It's mainly STEM, so science, technology,
but Blake, is
medicine.
there jobs available when young men and young women are graduating? Is there jobs available so they could pay back this debt, whether it's to their parents or their student loans?
Well, here's the problem. Yes and no. Yes, they do exist, but the problem is that they're being taken by a lot, at least in the tech sector, I can speak for that, are being taken by the H-1B recipients, the H-1B visas. Yeah. They're coming in here getting paid half the salary on what an American would be getting paid because the companies are trying to cheap out. Again, it goes back to what John talked about how our country is no longer a stakeholder country, it's a shareholder country, and the shareholders want to see the number go up, so that means they want to keep costs down.
We are inflicting pain on ourselves. Kurt, can we go to clip 1? I want to show you something that unnerves me and get your responses. All right, we need a second. So what this clip is about is the demoralization of a young female, how she feels about our country. And when I heard this the other day, I said to myself, you got to be kidding. There are a lot of youths today that just don't believe in America. I don't know if it comes from poor parenting. I don't know if I've had Dr. Stanley Ridgely on my show many times. We talk about what's going on in colleges today and the infiltration of political ideologies that just don't suit America. No luck yet, Kurt? All right, so we don't have any luck. We'll get back to that. So go ahead, Blake. What were you talking about besides colleges? I want to get back to affordability.
Correct.
While we're waiting for this clip. Affordability is affecting you guys in so many ways. So what I did is listen to this. I never heard of this before. Gen Z is using services of secondhand stores, not using luxury stores or big box aisles. He's got it. Okay. So the bottom line is that 86% of Gen Z is likely to purchase a gift secondhand. I never heard of that before. I mean, is this how we've relegated our economy of our country to youth of today where they can't afford anything? Go ahead. Let me play the clip first. Go ahead, Kirk.
Do you like living in America? Do you hate living in America? I'm not a big fan of living in America. I think especially as a college student and like being a young adult and kind of entering the adult world, it's very hard to kind of see like how the world is unfolding and feeling very helpless.
You are very, very lucky to be in this country. And if you see yourself...
Hold on. Don't play that until I'm ready for it. I'll let you know when. Go ahead.
But the reality of the situation is, like you just said, we're penny pinching, and we're penny pinching hard, right? Yeah. The thrift store thing doesn't surprise me whatsoever. I mean, you have people, that are trying to get out and, be on their own and, get away from their parents. It's very common. And especially here in the city of Philadelphia, where you'll have 4 guys in a 2-bedroom apartment. Two people will sleep in one bed. One person will sleep in their own bed and the other guy's sleeping on the couch just to save money.
Yeah, I got to tell you the truth. If I received a gift from a thrift shop, especially clothing, I'm not so sure about that. All right, Kirk, let's see if we could play this clip now, please. Listen to this, guys.
Do you like living in America? Do you hate living in America? I'm not a big fan of living in America. I think especially as a college student and like being a young adult and kind of entering the adult world, it's very hard to kind of see like how the world is unfolding and feeling very helpless.
You are very, very lucky to be in this country. And if you see yourself as oppressed...
That's good enough. I want to get the I want to get the thoughts of these guys, but you got a point. Did you hear that? I got to tell you the truth, Jonathan. When I was growing up, there was nobody in this country that ever said anything quite like that. I don't want to live in America anymore. And you know what my response is? Good. How much is a ticket? I'll pay for it. Get out. Go ahead, Jonathan.
You know, actually, first of all, just like the thrifting thing, I actually thrifted this shirt. You know, thrifting culture is very, very, very popular. And it goes to show that, like, we don't really have the capital to go shop at the mall anymore or shop on Amazon for firsthand clothes, you know, but I like the shirt. But, you know, taking it back to what you had just said, I think that mentality, Barry, respectfully, is part of the problem. You know, on the right, you know, you have a lot of people in the Republican Party, like Ben Shapiro, who go on and say, you know, well, maybe young people, if you're having issues affording America, you should leave. You know, I don't think that the answer is to say we should have a brain drain in our economy.
Yep.
I think that we have to take a hard look at why are these things happening to us, and are we really lazy, or is it systemic?
In the next session, I want to get to the bottom line. I feel like we've left runners on base so far. I'm not finished. We're up against the break. You're listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. Uncle Barry sitting in for Dawn. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Dawn Stensland here. You know, the Piazza Auto Group is so committed to supporting our communities throughout the year. And during the holiday season, Piazza partners with the Salvation Army, collecting toys for local children. This year's no different. Show your support by dropping off a new unwrapped toy in the collection bin at your local Piazza dealership through Friday, December 12th. And during your visit, why not say hello to the team? For more information about the Piazza Toy Drive or just to browse their extensive inventory, visit piazzaautogroup.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Listen this Saturday as Penn State battles Rutgers. Coverage starts at 3 p.m. on the home of Penn State football. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Investors love to celebrate the market hitting record highs, but forget just how fast the market can drop to record lows.
Robert Turpak. I've been with Crash Proof Retirement since 2014. Today, when I look at the stock market, it's doing very well right now, but the stock market always crashes and you lose money. Crash Proof Retirement gives me a wonderful peace of mind. I don't have to worry about the stock market going up and down. In 2025, I was earning 6%. I never lose that 6%. None of the vehicles have any kind of hidden fees or any upfront charges. I've never lost any money. I have positive returns, and I have no trouble falling asleep at night.
Schedule an appointment or register for one of our next events at Springfield Country Club, December 9th. Choose either the 11 a.m. or 5 p.m. event, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
B101 is spreading holiday cheer throughout Philly. Tune in for the soundtrack to your Christmas season, featuring all the holiday songs you love. Christmas music all day, every day, only on B101, Philly's official Christmas station.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation. And Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumbers690.org.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
From your kitchen table to our airwaves, the Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Yes, indeed. We are back Uncle Barry sitting in for Dawn. At the top of the hour at 11 o'clock, Dr. Brian Zanicki, a leader in research of breast oncology, or commonly known as breast cancer, is going to be joining us. Listen, Jonathan, off the air, you said to me, I'm pissed. Let me have it. I mean, you're sitting there. Can I tell you something? Let me know why you're mad, why your guys are disappointed in this country. Are politicians letting us down? All we hear is on both sides of the fence. They argue. They get out of office, and they're worth millions and millions of dollars, and we are sitting here holding it. You know, they like that terminology, holding it. Go ahead, Jonathan.
I am pissed, quite frankly, and I'll tell you why.
It's
I'm
about
pissed off.
time. We've been on the air for an hour, for God's sake.
I'm pissed off about this every day, Barry, and I'll tell you why. Because people my generation, I was born in the year 2000. We grew up believing and being told, if you go to college, if you really apply yourself, you'll have all the opportunity in the world because this is the land of opportunity. We come up into adulthood. So many of us are experiencing, there's no job out there for you, and if you do have a job, you have to work 60 hours a week to afford a shoebox apartment in a major city because that's where you got to move to get the job.
Thank you. You finally said it. Go ahead, Blake.
And here's the other issue too, Uncle Barry. You hear all these political pundits and you hear all these little authors. I want to tell you a story real quick. Do you know that after our conversation that we had on Sunday at 10 a.m. between me, you, and Jack, I talked about the political triangle and why,
a few weeks ago, you were on the air. So
Republicans had lost. Did you know a bunch of people, I'm assuming a lot of people were tuning into that show. Did you know a bunch of people took my talking point and put it in a bunch of different articles all over the internet? Same exact talking point. Funny enough, right? Mm-hmm. But here's my issue with these people, okay? Because after the election, they had said, we want to hear from the young people. Well, guess what? I told you earlier, I said there's people that talk the talk and walk the walk, and you're certainly one of those individuals that walk the walk. The ones that talk the talk, they just want to talk the talk because they really don't want to listen to young people. You know why? Because they feel threatened. They feel threatened because whether it's a political pundit, a politician, a media newscaster, they think that the young people are coming for their spot, and they want to save their spot. And because of that, they don't care.
Yep.
They'll repeat the same lines over and over again. They'll do the song and dance to try to get the votes that they need, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, they care about their spot.
At this point, they are coming for their spot. I mean, look in Vermont, you have a 14-year-old running for governor because they don't have any age requirement. He's just going for it because he's fed up, and he knows that when he gets around, there's going to be no economy for him to even use to live.
Well, Joe, besides chasing girls at night, and I know you're looking for employment all the time, you're not happy necessarily with your job with the Republican Party because they let you down. They let me down, too. I'm not happy about that. I want to know from you, what are you going to do for employment in regards to exactly what these guys are saying? You get out of school, you're in debt. Frankly, you might as well go become a carpenter, electrician. You can make more money doing that than any of these sophisticated jobs, Joe.
So
how do you like that?
I know, with a lot of degrees, apparently it takes a lot of long hours of time and dedication to actually get something. I got my degree in political science. Took me...
What are you going to do with that?
5 years. Took me 5 years to get a job in New Jersey government.
That's
5 years. Point. And it takes 5 years of volunteer on top of your degree, and that's what it really takes. It takes... Not just that, you go to college, you get the American dream. They extended. They moved the goalposts. They moved the goalposts
Jonathan,
a little bit.
This is what Charlie Kirk was saying.
They did. They absolutely moved the goalposts, Joe. And this is you're exactly right about that. My degree is about to be in poli-sci as well. And it's when I was a kid, it was get your bachelor's, and then now you have to get the master's and you have to get the PhD. You're putting ourselves in 6 figures or more of debt for student loans. To go to these colleges, and then you get out on the other side. What are the opportunities? What are the real opportunities to make a decent wage? The average, for example, San Francisco, you have to make $190,000 a year to afford rent. What are people thinking? Where is this economy going for us? And when the Republican Party says, the answer to that is a 50-year mortgage. The answer to that is we're going to put money into AI. The answer to that is we're going to give billions and billions of dollars back to corporations and tax cuts. We're going to cut government services that young people use while they're working. We're not going to do anything to address it because, that would be socialism. Well, you know what? People hear that, and then they turn and they actually elect socialists. Because it's like, if any form of government service is socialism, why not go for the whole bag?
Power and greed has led to this, Blake.
And let me talk about something real quick, because you talked about trade jobs. Right? Let me tell you something about trades real quick, because I actually went to school for trades. I went to school to become an electrician. I was an apprentice electrician. I became a plumber helper, so I kind of have a little bit of experience with the trades. And here's the issue with the trades, right? Because that's a Republican talking point. We got to stop taking them to college. We got to put them to trades. Here's the issue. You go to college, right? You graduate a degree. They're sending H-1B visas to replace your job and to take the jobs away from you. You decide, okay, let me go be an electrician and a plumber. They're hiring Mexicans, Venezuelans, whatever the case may be, illegal immigrants, pennies on the dollar. And the foreman, who's probably making $100,000 a year, doesn't want you on the job because he's afraid that you're going to take his job. Yep. So if you happen to be an apprentice, they're going to treat you like crap. Now, let's say that's non-union. Well, what about union? Well, let me tell you something about union real quick. First off, unions have this DEI stuff, this crap, where it's like, if I'm not a certain skin color or I'm not a certain gender, I can't be a part of the union. You know, I'll tell you a personal story. I applied to join Local 351, the electrical union, right? I had a person backing me. My grandfather was the vice president of the Carpenters Union 393. I got a long family history of family being in the union. And you know what they told me? They go, we want you 2 years in a non-union job and then come apply again and we'll hire you as an apprentice. So you want me to learn the wrong way for 2 years to come back and try to unlearn all that? Like, what is that? Just tell me no at the end of the day. Wow. And this is common amongst a lot of the young people that are just trying to get ahead.
You know, I personally, I've worked with a lot of unions. When I ran for Burlington County Commissioner last year, I had a lot of conversations with unions. My grandparents were both in unions. You know, my grandmother was a retail worker. My grandfather was a carpenter. And I don't see personally a lot of the DEI. What I see in a lot of the big unions, especially, I don't want to name any names for legal reasons, but a lot of the large unions is straight up greed and straight up corruption, where they pay off the politicians to give them public contracts for infrastructure jobs, and you end up seeing things that are environmental exploitation. You know, in New Jersey, where the municipalities will approve a warehouse project because they get a rateable, so they get a kickback from that. They hire the developer who paid for their campaign. They hire the union that paid for their campaign. Everyone is worse off. The environment is destroyed in those areas. The people who live there are hurt. You know, and that's the game. That's the game, Barry.
And I appreciate you saying that. And you know, Joe, I'm in residential construction and development, and I have to tell you, it was very difficult to hire unions.
You're having a hard time in Ventnor.
Huh?
You're having a hard time in Ventnor.
Yeah. Besides that, but in Philly, it was a very difficult task because unions for residential properties, it just cost me too much money, and I couldn't afford it. Commercial, it is what it is. I mean, I guess their numbers are a little different. All I could tell you, hold on. Again, we're up against the break. You are listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. I'm sitting in studio. I couldn't be prouder of these three guys. We will see you on the other side with Dr. Brian Zanicki, leader in research of breast oncology.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
$365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. TNC Supply.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan.
I've been asked many times how Morgan & Morgan became the largest injury firm in the world. I think I know. When someone comes to us for an on-the-job injury, we have a huge workers' compensation practice. But many times we find a defective product that was responsible for that injury. Luckily for them, we have a product liability section headed by my son Mike. In addition to the comp case, there is a product case too. Other times, the injured worker is fired or harassed for bringing that claim. We have them covered. Our employment lawyers handle retaliation claims as well as wage theft and discrimination cases, and in some cases need to file for Social Security benefits. No problem. We became big for a reason. 30% of our new cases come as referrals from former clients. Hiring us is easy. Go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer, or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer, an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Dee, we are back on this holiday season. Thanksgiving was great. Hard to believe it's over. Christmas is around the corner. Uncle Barry. Yes, Uncle Barry Sable, 1210 WPHT, who appears Sunday morning from 10 to 11. Love to have you listen. Is here with 3 of my buddies, the youth of today in the Republican Party. I want to start out while we're waiting for Dr. Zanicki to call in. Let me give you a few quotes. See how you guys would respond. Sometimes faith will make you look foolish to others until it starts to rain. Ask Noah, meaning the guy with the ark, guys. This is a little before your time. Another quote, life is a journey. Trust the process. Smile through the struggles and keep growing every day. One more, children are not the reflection of our past, but the architects, meaning you guys, of tomorrow. We should guide, not control. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. I so much appreciate especially that quote. You know, it gets back to, in my opinion, the fact that I don't feel that we are currently investing in our children to the degree that we should be. And you see it in the education metrics and the life outcomes. You know, math, reading, and writing skills are down. I have cousins who are very young who, you know, learn to read late in the game, you know, learn to write late in the game. And that's largely because they spent 2 years. You know, they were 3 and 5 during COVID. So they spent 2 of their most formative years learning on Zoom. You know, but the education outcomes across the board in New Jersey are down, and all over the country, you know, are down. You know, so I don't feel in any capacity like we are investing in our kids and our young people, you know, and birth rates are another thing in itself as well. You know, we're not doing anything to unlock and secure the future of our country if we're not having kids. And a lot of that isn't necessarily cultural, it's economic. You know, if the average cost to have a kid is $40,000 in a year, I can tell you a lot of people my age don't have that kind of money, and if they do, they're having 1 kid at best.
Listen, gentlemen, I've been dying to get this guy on the air. Dr. Brian Zanicki, MD, PhD, a leader in research of breast oncology, or as I said before, commonly known as breast cancer. One would say his research goal is independent of vaccines for the prevention, or if not is independent, is in the development, Uncle Barry, get it right, of vaccines. That's what he does for the prevention of breast and other solid tumor cancers. He is working endlessly to prevent invasion of mastectomies. Dr. C is recognized nationally for his contribution to the development of lymph node mapping. This is over my head what he does, but let me get it out. A procedure for determining the spread of cancer into lymph nodes that is less invasive than diagnostic surgery. To me, he walks on water, a modern day wizard. Doc, I probably didn't explain exactly what you do, so help me out, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What
I mumbled
what
and bumbled through that, Doc, so I know that I didn't do a great job. So why did you clean me up?
So our goal is to use the patient's own immune system to treat their breast cancer. And the way that works is we can take some cells out of the bloodstream that are normally sitting in there awaiting to do their job. We filter them out. We activate them out of the patient's body to drive an immune response against their cancer like they have a virus. And by doing that, we then take those cells that are activated. We can actually store them frozen. And we can inject them directly into the breast cancer, and it helps to make the breast cancer go away completely, and any cells that are spread somewhere else in the body. And so the idea is to use that instead of chemotherapy and all the other things that we need to use to treat breast cancer.
What do we have to do to get the attention of the White House and government positions of that nature? Because to me, I have been to some of your functions with Usi Kessler, and what you are doing is remarkable work. And I know that you're treating so many people, there's not enough time in the day. How possibly could our listenership be of help to you in getting your message across and your ways of treating people, Doc?
Write to their congressmen and senators and let them know about this type of treatment, because this is the kind of treatment that will transform the way breast cancer, if it works in breast cancer, there's no reason we can't try it for a lot of other cancers as well.
So, Doc, basically, are you saying, to interrupt, that this is in lieu of a breast mastectomy and chemotherapy? That's ultra important. What you're saying is you've been able to treat patients with vaccines and shots, if you want to call it a vaccine. Is that correct again?
Yes, it's a little more than a vaccine. It's what I call an immunotherapy or a cell therapy, but it has the effect of a vaccine plus the extra properties of the immune response beside a vaccine. So It's not just simply a vaccine; it's a cell-based therapy, similar to what you could get if you got cell therapy in Europe. For aging or something like that.
Go ahead, Blake.
Doctor, I had a question I wanted to ask you, because I thought it was very interesting how you described the process about, taking white blood cells out of the bloodstream, isolating them, and then you had said activating them. How exactly are you activating them? Because, again, I'm not a doctor and I'm not an expert in this field, but I could have sworn from, my biology class back in high school back in the day that the body couldn't detect cancer cells from regular cells. So how exactly are you activating them and targeting the cancer cells?
So there are certain parts of a cancer cell, things that drive its growth, called oncodrivers, and they get hyper expressed or overexpressed in cancers to help them continue to grow. And what we do is we feed little bits of protein or are peptides from those oncodrivers. And then we also take a couple of activators from bacteria and from some natural products like a marine sponge to drive other parts of the immune system. And then by injecting them back into the tumor, once we've activated those cells, a whole map is been generated by those cells to tell the immune system to attack that problem.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Doctor, thank you so much for being on. My question was actually about the average age of your patients. So something that I have read and that I've seen in my own family is that, for example, colorectal cancer is affecting younger and younger people, to where now there's a recommendation to get a colonoscopy at the age of 25, even especially as a man. So and that ties back to, in many cases, diet, in many cases, the type of air and water and food that you're drinking. We have a lot of plastic and a lot of chemicals in the food, the air, and the water, and that's leading to increased cancer rates in young people. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing more young patients over the years come into your practice?
Yes, that's true also with breast cancer. Colorectal and breast cancer are two of the ones that you're seeing an increased incidence in younger people. In women, we see it in women now in their 20s and 30s, some of which is genetic, but most of which is still environmentally caused and related to pregnancies and development of the breast. A lot of factors, some of which you mentioned, environmental factors, plastics, other things that can do this as women are having families later and later in life, and that's contributing somewhat also to the increase in breast cancer development.
Doc, I'm going to let Joe ask the question, but off the air, he asked me, where are these cells coming from? But go ahead, Joe. Why don't I let you ask the doc what you had in mind also beyond that?
Doc, how's it going? Joe Miller. So just to go off Duffy's just a question with you on how it's affecting young people. With family, how are they really affording it? I mean, how is the cost compared to like chemotherapy and other practices for cancer treatment? Is it cheaper for them, or is it going to cost them a little bit more? Because we know how these prices can just skyrocket with medicine and everything.
Right. So right now, ours is in experimental clinical trials, so it's paid for by grants and donations and things like that. I could tell you it raw costs about between $10,000 and $12,000 to make a course of treatments for a patient. So that's not very expensive. Now, if it became commercialized, I'm sure some company would try to make more profits off that. But to actually do it, the actual cost is not very expensive.
Awesome.
My question to you is, if I may, should women be getting mammograms earlier on, number one? And number two, as you know, today, breast implants and augmentation is a big thing in society today. How is that affecting the detecting of a lump in the breast as opposed to before?
So the problem with mammograms in younger women is they don't detect because younger women's breasts are too dense. And so things like MRI would be used in patients under 30. Mammograms really don't help until women get to be around 40 for detecting disease. So blood markers and other things need to be developed for the younger people to identify this stuff. We have a couple we're working on. There's also the other part of your question was about, let's see, you wanted
breast
to
implants.
know how, the implants. So if they're put under the muscle, the breast can be separated from the implant to get a good view of it. Again, for younger patients that have those, mammograms are not very useful. MRI is the test for an under 30-year-old patient.
Mm-hmm.
that would be acceptable, or ultrasound if someone feels a lump. So those tests are not interfered with by implants. They can be a problem if they're in the breast itself and you're trying to get a good image. And I'm talking about women over 40 now. A lot of women have implants put in when they're younger, but they don't get mammograms till their 40s. But if they're under the muscle, it's pretty easy to detect abnormalities.
Doc, let me ask you a question. Looks like I'm up against a break. Are you free for another 5 or 10 minutes after the break, or do you must run? I know you have family down there for the holiday. You tell me.
Yeah, I can stand 5 or 10 more minutes, sure.
Oh, that would be great. Listen, you're listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. What a fascinating interview, guys, with Dr. Brian Zanicki. To me, I'm telling you, he's, to me, a modern-day Einstein. We will see you on the other side of the break.
Hey, listen, you can have Philly fast, reliable internet when you switch to Fios. How do I know? I got a family at 5. Everyone's got a device. Trust me, it is reliable. It is fast. And for a limited time, you can combine Fios home internet and 1 line of mobile for just $69.99 a month. You know how incredible that is. Get unlimited welcome for just $50 a month with auto pay plus taxes and fees when you bring your phone. And get this, I'm not done. You can add Fios 300 megabits for $19.99 a month with auto pay, mobile plus home discount, and bonus discount. So here's the deal. You want Philly fast, reliable internet for the entire family? Visit your greater Philly area Verizon store today to get this limited time offer and switch to our reliable 100% fiber optic network. For eligible new Fios internet and mobile customers, both the $15 monthly discounts for Fios and Bring Your Phone applied over 36 months. Mobile and home discount enrollment required. $99 Fios setup charge applies. For unlimited welcome, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic and times of congestion. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
Hi, it's Saint Nick. I mean Nick Kale. It's almost time. Did you put it off again this year? If you're feeling squeezed with that holiday shopping list, Wawa's got you covered with gifts that don't need any wrapping. I'm talking about gift cards for the Wawa fans in your life and for the fans of top brands like Visa, Sephora, and more. Gift cards make a perfect gift for teachers, co-workers, your mailman, and at that holiday party you just remembered. For holiday shopping made easy, stop at Wawa, your one-stop gift card shop. See store for details. Gotta have a Wawa.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli here with my friend Matt from Emmons Roofing and Siding. If you're like me, your house took a real beating this winter from all the snow, ice, and storms.
At Emmons Roofing and Siding, we're here to put it back together. We specialize in storm-resistant roofing and siding systems designed to last no matter what Mother Nature throws at it.
Well, Emmons is who I use and recommend, so call Emmons today at 856-556-3229 for a free roof inspection.
Or visit us at callemmons.com.
Callemmons.com. Emmons, protecting homes, one roof at a time.
It's time now for today's Spotlight on Money.
Numerous studies over the years have said that disagreements about money are the #1 source of arguments in a relationship and one of the leading causes of divorce regardless of income level. Ed Jertson, founder of the Engaged Wealth Group, says it's important for couples to have a stress-free conversation to outline their goals and then celebrate when the goal is accomplished.
Have some goals that you both can meet and then go enjoy those goals.
I'm Rob Hart.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
Calling on Huntington Valley to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it today.
Yes, indeedy, we are back. You are listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn with my 3 young guys, as I call them, my 3 young bucks. We are sitting here talking to someone that's so special, someone that needs to be heard throughout the country and throughout the world. He has worked so hard, hours, tireless hours in trying to treat people and getting them healthy. Dr. Brian Zanicki, thank you for holding on. I guess my first question is that I want to know is, after treatment, do people have to take medication? And then I'm going to give you the time. If there's questions that I didn't ask, what do you want to tell the people of the Delaware Valley that Brian Zanecki is doing to helpfully save people's lives?
Okay, the first question, how is this done?
Yeah, well, not so much. Medication, too. I mean, after you have a successful operation, are people, when I say operation, meaning with shots, are people taking medication after that? Or basically, do you find that you're curing people? What's the process that people have to go under different than if they had a mastectomy or was receiving chemo?
So the idea with these is to do it over a short period of time, and you wouldn't have to take a whole lot of other medications. Some may be given with it for 6 weeks or so, but you wouldn't have to be taking things like anti-estrogens for years and years and years, because what this does is actually get the immune response to eliminate the disease.
Yeah.
And any cells that are left behind with the ability to recur years later, it paralyzes them. So it's kind of a double hit in that it takes care of, or helps to take care of, what you can see in the breast, but it does a lot to get rid of microscopic cells that are going to be the source of recurrence years later. And that's what people are taking chemotherapy for and pills for and medications to try to stop.
Yes. Well, I know Pennies in Action is a strong foundation trying to raise money all the time. I know this is a non-toxic process. I guess the question that I ask is twofold. As I said, what should people know that obviously as a rookie, and my guys are rookies, about what they should know, what you're doing? And second of all, before I leave you go, what do you need other than finances? What do we need to do to get your methodology out to the public so they know that there's another alternative than to what they think between the mastectomy and, as I say, in chemo? There's an alternative here. Am I correct?
Yes. It's basically alert your congressmen, senators, because we need the government to get behind this and to get behind it, at the FDA level and other, to get this kind of thing approved to move forward, so that we can start to establish the effects of this for other subtypes of breast cancer and then other kinds of cancer as well.
Yeah.
We're actively working on this. Right now we have programs that cover all three types of breast cancer: the HER2 breast cancer, triple negative breast cancer, and estrogen positive breast cancer. It's a matter of getting it honed down a little bit so we can get rid of the chemo for all three of those.
Yes. Let me ask you, before I leave you go, and obviously breast cancer has affected so many of our women in this country and throughout the world. Before I leave you go, how could people reach out and get more information on Brian, and I'll spell it, CZERNIECKI, PhD, the best of docs? How do we get in touch with you? Please tell us.
Okay, you can do it through a couple ways. You can go through the Pennies in Action website. That's PENNIES inaction.org. Or you can get a hold of me through my Moffitt email address. It's my first name, Brian.Zernicki, CZERNIECKI @Moffitt.org.
Uh-huh.
We also have a laboratory website on the Moffitt Cancer Center as well.
There you go. Listen, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, a healthy and happy New Year. I am so excited that you called and were able to give us time. Dr. Zanicki, you are my hero, and I appreciate all that you do to get people healthy. We will see you again soon. Gentlemen, wow, what an interview, huh? Any response before I hammer you guys onto how we got to fix things? Go ahead.
Well, I'll say this much: it's I know it seemed like we were kind of negative throughout this entire radio
I
show.
don't think so, Blake.
But well,
I think
to
you're
some
honest.
people are probably listening like, "Now, what are these guys complaining about?" But to listen to the doctor and everything he's doing with breast cancer and the fact that there's hope for breast cancer patients, I think that's one thing that we can all agree on. Puts a smile on our face.
Yes.
So,
yes. Go ahead, Jonathan. I know you're chomping at the bit. I know something's on your mind.
Absolutely.
Talk to Uncle Barry.
I'll
Talk to
tell
Uncle
you.
Barry.
I'll tell you. You know, one of my favorite Democrats is Marianne Williamson, and she ran for president in 2020, and she got up on stage and she said, "We don't have a health care system in the United States. We have a sickness care system. We just wait till someone gets sick, and then we talk about who's going to pay for the treatment and how they're going to be treated.
Yep.
But what we need to talk about is why so many Americans have unnecessary chronic illnesses, so many more than in other countries."
Love that idea.
And that gets back to chemical policy, it gets back to food policy, drug policy, environmental policy, what's in our air and our water. You know, we really poison our people. We allow these large corporations who make the food to poison our people. And I think it's great that we have people like that doctor who are starting to come up with cutting-edge solutions to really beat that back.
Yep, I agree. Listen, Joe, what are your thoughts on on Kennedy, Robert Kennedy Jr.? He's fighting. He's taking a bashing from everything and everybody. But you know something? He's come to the conclusion, like I hope a lot of politicians on the right are, I've had enough. We live in an obese society. America's a obese society. I mean, come on. And second of all, we're not healthy. Our foods aren't healthy.
He's getting rid of the problem and not just coming up with a solution.
Yeah,
That's what he's doing.
Exactly. Go ahead, Blake.
100%.
we have what I will say this. I am a big fan of what RFK Jr. has been doing as the Secretary of Health, trying to get the health of Americans back in order. But one thing that I think he needs to focus on, and I know for a fact he knows about this because he's talked about this before, is we really have to figure out the testosterone epidemic that is happening across men across the United States of America. Uncle Barry, I don't know if you know this, right? But do you know that a 70-year-old man, right, has the same testosterone levels as a 20-year-old man today?
You mean I'm in good shape?
No, it means that our younger generations in bed. A glass half full type of guy, Uncle Barry. But
are you trying to tell me I'm over the hill?
No. What I'm trying to say is that something is poisoning our youth, our young men specifically, and it is destroying our testosterone levels. And the doctor earlier was talking about prostate cancer, which is lower testosterone levels. Is one of the causes of prostate cancer, which explains why this is happening amongst young men. And the issue boils down to, I'll tell you what the issue boils down to. It boils down to the microplastics that are in our water supply and the chemicals that are in our water that are causing these issues. And what I would like to know from RFK Jr. is there something that we're going to do to combat this? Maybe lower costs for testosterone replacement therapy, whatever the case may be. This needs to get solved, and this needs to get solved fast.
Yep.
Democrats need to get out of his way. So he can actually come up with a solution.
Well, I think a lot of the Republicans have to get out of his way too, and you know what else? Big Pharma has to get out of our politics through the lobbying and through the campaign donations. Because at the end of the day, I think this gets back to a uniparty, not just one party blocking the other.
Yeah.
But because there is no disagreement until very recently, there was no disagreement between the two major parties on this.
Yeah.
Between deregulating the USDA, deregulating large food companies like Monsanto, and others from putting GMOs in our food, from putting dyes in our food, from putting plastic in our water. That plastic has crossed the blood-brain barrier in the United States.
Yeah, I love that thought and love that idea, and I'm glad you brought that up. Listen, Kurt, I want to go down a rabbit hole with these guys. Let me see what their thoughts are in regards to dating and regards to the economics of dating. Do you have clip 2 for me? And I call it Men Bad. You have? Oh, he doesn't have it yet? Okay. So what I'm going to ask you guys is, while he's digging that up, is how has all of this economic, call it disparity, affected men and women in the dating process? And I wanted you to listen to this clip. Hopefully he'll be able to get it for me because I found it to be interesting from another female. Nevertheless, while we're waiting, go ahead, Joe. Are you awake over there, or are you sipping on your coffee? Huh?
As awake as I'll ever be.
There you go. Blake, any thoughts while we're waiting on Kurt?
As far as what, dating's concerned?
Yeah, dating. We'll start with that, and then I want you to listen to this clip.
Well, to be brutally honest with you, I mean, a lot of the degradation. So right now, for a young person, it's very hard to find somebody that's loyal. For a young man, especially, because after generations and generations of feminism, which the initial feminist periods I agreed with, right, giving equal rights to women, allowing them to vote, getting them jobs and stuff like that. Now it's turned into, women are more equal than men. Animal farm type thing.
I'm with you. Listen to this clip and let me get your
men.
thoughts
You
on
have
the
to go to
other
work.
side, Jonathan.
You're responsible
Let's
for
play
working.
clip
You're responsible
2.
for taking care of.
Listen to this. I hope we could listen to it. I'm praying we could listen to it.
But you're required to work and support and
Talking
pay for
about
us.
men.
And what do we have to do in return? Just exist, right? So again, this may seem like a funny little joke, whatever, but this is real. This is the lens through which young women are seeing the world now. Men bad, women good. Men must pay. Women, should basically, take advantage of men now because we've been taken advantage of for so long that we now have to get back at them. So you guys go to work and we're just going to spend your cash. Like it's an ingrate, disrespectful, awful mentality.
Uncle Barry's at it. He's a bad boy. He's a bad boy.
She was talking about you.
Yes, she was. And I don't mind spending the money. But is what she's saying in your mind's true? I mean, this is really a knock on femininity.
100%. I mean, I'll give you a great example. And here's the other problem, too, is that there are young women telling other young women to go about and do this. I'll give you a great example. Uncle Barry, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Twitch.tv at all, Twitch streamers, but there is a notorious...
Hold on. Twitch streamers?
Twitch streamers,
Go
yes.
ahead, fire away.
It's a big thing amongst young people. Well, there's a streamer. Her name is Nina Lynn. She was recently banned off of Twitch for actually abusing a man on stream, and then was able to get back on. And recently she's been under fire because she told a bunch of her young woman audience, basically saying that your money is your money, your man's money is your money, he needs to take care of you and do all this stuff, and if he doesn't, you drop him and you find somebody else.
Hold on 1 second. We're up against the break. That's an interesting point. You are listening to the Dawn Stensland Show. Uncle Barry sitting in for Dawn with my 3 renegades this morning, and I am so proud of these guys. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Weather sponsored by D&K Appliances.
As we recover from our turkey hangover, we get into breezy conditions today. Only a high temperature of 45, but the real feel is more like 32. 45 for tomorrow, but more sun than clouds. But more clouds on Sunday and rain starting late morning with a high of 48.
D&K Appliances, family owned and operated, offers industry-leading brands like Bosch, GE Profile, Speed Queen, KitchenAid, Sub-Zero, and more. Their staff are local experts, guiding you through sales, delivery, installation, and service. Visit D&K Appliances in Newtown Square and Flourtown, or DKappliances.com.
Dawn Stensland here. Happy Honda Days. You've heard me talk about my family and 7 different Piazza Hondas. You can get your clearance deals on select 2025 models at Piazza Honda, like 0.99% for 60 months on a new Honda Ridgeline. Lease a new Honda Accord for just $229 a month, or a Honda Pilot for only $399 a month, both for 36 months. Piazza Honda of Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, Reading, or Springfield, PIAZZA, PiazzaHonda.com. Tell Dawn sent you.
It's that time of year again. Hi, it's George Parenti, the lead dog at the Dogs and Cats Rule stores. If you're a pet parent like I am, you know that the holidays are just as important to our 4-legged kids as they are to us. At the Dogs and Cats Rule stores, our goal is to make your holiday shopping easier. When it comes to getting the cutest Christmas-themed toys, collars, and leads, we have absolutely everything. That's Dogs and Cats Rule, now with 7 convenient locations. Shop small, shop local, shop family. Happy holidays from all of us at Dogs and Cats Rule.
Hey, it's Nick Cale here, and the holidays are back yet again, and gifting gifts sometimes becomes a bit mundane. So how about you change it up this year with my friends from Omaha Steaks, because they deliver the world's best steak experience. And when you use omahasteaks.com, make sure you use the promo code NICK, that's N-I-C-K, at checkout to get an extra $35 off of your order. And when we're talking about gifting steaks for the holidays, holidays. Does it get any better than that ribeye with the beautiful marble or a beautiful New York strip steak? I think not. But it goes beyond beef. They have burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, and of course, all of your delectable desserts. Save big on unforgettable gifts with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off select favorites during their cyber sale. That's omahasteaks.com. Promo code Nick at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
From Kasha's Bakery to the parade, it's a day of Thanksgiving traditions in Philadelphia. The Temple University Diamond Marching Band shines in the Macy's Day Parade in New York. And a plane at the Philly airport had to be evacuated before takeoff after passengers say they saw smoke in the cabin.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. 610-894-7415 or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Free speech lives here. With Don Stensland, 10 till noon. On Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
Yes, indeedy, we are back. Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn this morning. Blake, Jonathan, Joe Miller. Be thankful for today, because in one moment, your entire life could change. We've had so much to talk about. We left runners on base today, so we've got the last part of the show. Jonathan, why don't I lead out with you? How are we going to fix the problems that exist? I've got 5 pages of issues that we talked about the other night, couldn't get to 15%. So now that we know that there are issues, let's talk about fixability, Jonathan.
Absolutely. And I do think that the system is fixable right up until the point that it no longer is. So if you have all of these issues and the political class is unresponsive to them, then ultimately young people turn to more radical solutions. And as I said earlier, you're seeing that with the election of Mamdani in New York City.
Terrible.
You know, and because these more radical elements talk about these issues in ways that the political establishment doesn't. So I think the answer is both parties have to evict their dinosaur politicians and their dinosaur leadership from power, and we need to have a real conversation about how to preserve this country. And that I think that the real prescription is you got to break up the corporate welfare, you got to enforce the rule of law, you got to get people off the streets, you've got to have government services directed at the American people. Stop sending our money overseas, stop sending our money back to corporations through corporate welfare
and illegals.
And well, sure, and anything other than investing in working class American people and young people to build a decent future for ourselves.
Uncle Barry, I just want to add on that real quick. So, I mean, we could stand here. I could stay here for 2 hours and talk about all the different solutions, but I'm going to talk about probably the most important solution that we as Republicans need to get on immediately. Republicans have a history of overturning Supreme Court cases such as Roe v. Wade. Well, I think the next Supreme Court case that we really need to look on overturning is Dodge v. Ford, which is what's gotten us into this mess.
Which is what?
So for people that don't know what Dodge v. Ford is, it refers refers to a landmark 1919 Michigan Supreme Court case where the minority shareholders, the Dodge brothers, sued Henry Ford's company to force it to pay dividends and stop its reinvestment plan. Long story short, Ford stated he wanted to withhold dividends from shareholders to lower car prices and reinvest profits into the company, into the employees, build more factories, et cetera, et cetera. He also, he claimed he wanted to run it for the community, and the court ruled on saying that no, the company is not in the interest of the consumer or the employee or the community. It's in the interest of the shareholder, which is how we went from the stakeholder to shareholder capitalistic society. It is literally law that if you have a company, a public company, you must be in the benefit of the shareholders. Forget the employee, forget the consumer, forget about the community. We need to overturn this because I truly do believe that there are good people out there, and I do believe that there are good CEOs that want to treat their employees right, but their hands are tied and they can't do that, and this is one of the reasons why.
Joe, any comment to that?
Well, Bear, I mean, I think a simple solution just to the main question you asked us on just getting a solution is term limits. I really think that how Jonathan said we have all these dinosaurs of politicians involved in the U.S. elections, like on both sides. We have Mitch McConnell, we have Nancy Pelosi, but
1,000 years old.
We need term limits. We need to get younger voices involved, younger voices heard, and just really hear what issues they're facing on the ground and how they feel they can resolve it.
President Trump mentioned that the other day, Jonathan.
Sure he did, and I hope he actually does something about it instead of just talking about it as he seems to have been doing all year.
It's hard to make these changes, my friend. He's got a plate full. Would you want to be that man trying to steer this ship?
Doing all he can.
I'm not running for president. I'm not running for president, but I'll tell you what, you get into office and the first thing you do is you give the richest man in the world a chainsaw to hack up the government and fire. Look, there are some bureaucrats in the federal government, but there's a lot of decent people who work for the federal government, and he took a chainsaw to their lives. Is it any wonder why people turned around? Virginia elected him by 16
points.
To work
after COVID. All those buildings in D.C. were empty. People want to stay home.
Sure, but you know what? That's actually another thing. I don't think that there's anything wrong with work from home. Work from home is the wave of the future because it allows parents to stay home with their children. It allows them to have families. It allows them to have quality time. As long as you're doing your job, I don't think it should matter whether you're doing it in an office or from home. But they killed a lot of people's jobs that way. They turned us against the government. They put $500 billion into AI. They're giving it to these big corporations like Sam Altman, OpenAI, like Mark Zuckerberg, like the developers of Gemini, Google AI, who with their stated goal is to replace American workers with AI. You put 9 figures into them. Where is the welfare for us? Why is the welfare for Sam Altman?
But I got to tell you, before you comment, Blake, Doge came around and showed us where all our money's going, for God's sakes. If someone's listening, obviously, hopefully there's about 20,000 people listening right now, you have to go look and see where all our money was going overseas for all these crazy radical thoughts. To me, that money was circled back into the pockets of politicians. That money just didn't disappear. Talking about, I'm not even going to tell you what it is. I mean, I'm embarrassed to talk about it. Go ahead, Blake.
I got to disagree with John. I was actually a big fan of Elon going in there, exposing USAID and all the radical programs that they were funding, through shell companies. But to John's point about AI and replacing workers, again, it goes back to what I talked about earlier with Dodge v. Ford. They only care about the shareholders. The shareholders want to see the number go up, 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 up. Well, how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to have to cut costs. One way to cut costs is to fire employees. How do you get rid of a lot of employees? You replace them with, artificial intelligence and AI. So it goes back. His point goes back to my issue that I talked about earlier.
There's really no way to stop AI, though. I mean, the government is, even if the government didn't get involved, AI was still going to be taking over jobs.
You're absolutely wrong about that. Something that Trump just did that I completely disagree with, and I actually hate it, is he made it a law that states and local governments cannot regulate the development of AI in any way. He's being fed a lie by these people who paid for his inauguration. Sam Altman donated to his inauguration. The CEO of Google donated to his inauguration. They're in his ear telling him that they have to win the arms race for AI against China, so they can't be regulated in any way. What that leads to is they are developing this technology at an accelerated rate very irresponsibly. The data centers sop up the groundwater. They raise people's electric bills. They're putting people out of work in the tech industry. It's going to diversify very soon. People don't want it. And this administration's answer is to facilitate it through money and through a law against regulation. And I think it's disgusting.
Dissension in 1210 WPHT studio. Barry Sable sitting in for Dawn Stensland with my three young bucks, as I call them, smarter than smart. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
The holidays are here, and it's time to give back. Join us for the 7th annual Piazza Auto Group Toy Drive, along with the Salvation Army, and help kids right here in our communities. Friday, December 5th, from 6 a.m. till noon. Stop by as we broadcast live from Piazza Honda in Springfield, right off Baltimore Pike. Bring a new unwrapped toy and celebrate the season with us. Plus, you can grab a picture with our own St. Nick, Kale dressed up as Santa, plus Dawn the Elf, and Greg the Grinch. Friday morning, December 5th at Piazza Honda Springfield with Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer, an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey, this is Larry Steiners with Investor Schooling. Listen, I know sometimes you worry about coming to see me because you don't want to invest in real estate, because you don't want to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants. I'm going to teach you a way that you don't have to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants, or even own any real estate and invest in real estate at the same time. You want to learn this, so go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com, and take a complimentary class this Thursday, and I promise you, no toilets, no trash, no tenants.
Turn off the financial news and turn on a great retirement. Find out how with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Saturdays at 5 p.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Don't get cold feet ever again. Stock up on the warmest thermal socks invented by my friends at heatholders.com. Dawn Stensland here. This is really my secret to keeping warm while I'm hosting live some of our city's biggest winter events and parades of the year. Thanks to my Heat Holder thermal socks, gloves, hat, and base layers. Heatholders.com. Scientifically proven to be 7 times warmer than regular socks, and they're great gifts too. Get 25% off with promo code DAWN1210.
Start your collectible coin journey today with the first ever Seuss coin. Hip hip hooray! The Grinch is here for all to see. DrSeussCoins.com kicks off your collecting spree. Now, for the first time ever, Rare Collectibles TV has licensed Dr. Seuss's beloved creations, making them come to life on collectible, adorable coins. Don't wait, or you'll be too late. Get yours today before they're gone forever. Only 5,000 examples have been minted. Each Grinch coin is made from 1 ounce of pure .999 fine silver and is in perfect condition. Give the gift of wonder and enchantment to your kids or your grandkids. Just go to DrSeussCoins.com to start this whimsical coin journey today with the limited edition Silver Grinch coin. That's DrSeussCoins.com, DrSeussCoins.com.
It's here. B101 has transformed into Philly's official Christmas station. Relax and unwind with your holiday favorites 24 hours a day, all the way through Christmas. Tell your smart speaker to play B101.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Yes, indeedy, we are back. Am I correct? Am I back? Oh, my Lord. Sitting in studio with me, Jonathan Duff, Joe Miller, Blake, how to say it?
Shibashevsky.
Listen, 10 seconds before we do a crossover with Dom. Go ahead, Blake.
You know what? A lot of people say that the American dream is dead. I don't think the American dream is dead, but we have to work towards saving it as soon as possible, and that starts with the younger generation.
Jonathan.
The American dream is dead. That doesn't mean that we are dead. We're still alive. We can fight for ourselves and for our children. Let's start doing it now.
I agree with these guys, but let's hear from Dom on how we can get that solution on track.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, I want to leave you with this thought before we do get to Dom. One of the most expensive things you could ever do is pay attention to the wrong people. One other thing, life only comes around once. So do what makes you happy and be with people who make you laugh. Lastly, the moment you start seeing your worth, you'll find it harder to stay around people. Dom Giordano, the great Dom Giordano, has been doing this for so many years. We tip our hat to you, Dom. Good morning.
Well,
How
thank
are
you, Barry. Thanks very much. Good to hear the discussion you've been having today.
Yes, thank you. Listen, Dom, we need some words of wisdom for these young bucks before we leave the airways. Help me to help them.
Well, I didn't hear all of it. So the American dream is always alive and well, Barry, and enough despondency. That's about what I have in me at this moment.
Yeah, listen, Dom, you have so much. You're going to be on for the next 2 hours. I want to thank you for always being there for Delaware Valley, Dom. You've been doing a great job for so many years. So many people listen, tune in, and adore you. I want to wish you, if I don't see you, a Merry Christmas and a healthy and happy New Year. And thanks for always being there for the Delaware Valley.
Well, thank you, Barry. Same to you, and I hope we see you very soon.
Yes, sir. Oh, you want me to keep going? Oh, I got some more time? Oh, I got less than 3 minutes, guys. All right, last minute thoughts then. I thought we were done. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I think that a lot of these things, again, it gets back to it's the economy's stupid.
I know.
You got to get these dinosaurs, like Mitch McConnell's got to go, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they've all got to go. I think that young people on both the left and the right are seeing it. I do think that there is hope. For a new generation of leadership to come up. We are aware of the issues that we're facing. Yep. We're going to step into leadership. We're going to fix it.
Listen, I'm going to be on the airways, as you guys know, on this Sunday. I'll be in studio by myself. I have so many thoughts that I want to get across. I want to invite the three of you back in 2 weeks to the Barry Sable Show with friends, Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. I want to continue. I think we left a few runners on base. I want to make sure that the most important thing to me is fixing. Can we fix? Mm-hmm. Go ahead. How much more time do I have for Joe Miller? Go ahead, Joe. Give me a few more thoughts.
Not really much, except we just got to really get America back on track. I mean, America's in for a rude awakening. If not, and it's up to the younger generation, up for individuals like us.
Yeah, I'm concerned, Blake, to be honest with you. Socialism is knocking at our door, and that leads to communism, guys. And I have to tell you, we need as Republicans to fight back. And I don't know if we're doing hard enough. Go ahead.
Well,
Mike.
you need solutions, and you need young solutions. And Uncle Barry, as I said earlier, I want to thank you for being a guy that walks the walk. And what I want to do right now is I want to put an open challenge out to everybody on 1210 WPHT, every single radio host. I want you to try to bring more young people on. It doesn't have to be us. It could be anybody. It could be your son, your cousin, whatever the case may be. Bring them on. Let's hear their solutions. Let's bring the voice of the youth to America, because we're going to need it. That's the only way we're going to turn this ship around.
Jonathan, go ahead. We have more time. I didn't realize. Go ahead. I have 3 minutes left, for God's sakes.
No,
I got 30 seconds. I fumbled the ball. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Thanks for tuning in. I mean, you know what? Something that I want to leave people with. Everyone, if you have a kid, if you are a parent, if you're a grandparent,
great thought.
Go easy on your kid and do whatever you can to step into their life. Because right now there's a lot of people my age who are hurting emotionally, financially, personally. Don't forget to call your kid. Don't forget to check in.
Go. I love that. And Joe Miller just walked out. I guess he has to go to the bathroom. We will see you on Sunday. Go ahead. He's back. All right, back in the door. Go ahead, Joe.
Have a great week. Have an awesome week. Whatever else Uncle Barry says. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you for allowing us to sit in for Dawn, Greg Stocker. I appreciate. We will see you on Sunday morning. Have a great week. Go Eagles, by the way.
Go
Big
Birds.
ball game. Go Birds.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Now at Rescue Natural Supplements, take advantage of their huge Black Friday savings. We're talking discounts up to 80% off on high-quality, carefully crafted natural formulas for just about all of your health and wellness needs for over 40 years. Rescue has used clinically tested vitamins, nutrients, antioxidants, and patented ingredients to perfect their all-natural supplement blends. Don't wait to grab exactly what you need at all-time discounts.